My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Blueprints. Alright, we got a lot of learning from the last day. Also got 21 in our allowance. We got a lot of things that we can get done today. What do I want to start with? I think first and foremost, I want to focus on unfreezing the freezer by placing it next to the boiler. That seems like a very good idea for us. I would also... Which of these was the next directionally actionable one? I'll remember it when it turns up. Damn, I'll have to remember when it turns up. Because I have a lot of notes, but I don't have a note that specifically says the thing that I wanted to do this episode. I should start keeping notes of goals as well. For the moment, though, we've got 3 perfectly shaped rooms. Hallway, den, and conference room. Each give us the ability to see all of our adjacencies here. I'm going to take the conference room because the earlier you get this, the far better off you are. And before I go in there, yes, that's right, I'm going to remember this time. I'm also going to draw off my other 2 adjacencies. Okay, so none of these go through to the very pocket, but storeroom has 2 keys. I really do like 2 keys. Funeral parlor. The earlier I get that, the more that I know that I can rely on using red rooms in order to give my gems. Give me the funeral parlor. I'm going to draft out to the north, and I really need an option here that goes north as well. 0 of the options available go north. That is unfortunate. All right. I don't need my house to be super interconnected. I don't tend to go down one wing and then back down the other. At least not multiple times. Conservatory. I kind of want to hold on to my 2 gems. Give me den ahead. And then if I go ahead to the den... Yeah, no, I'll go over to the conference room now. No items in here, unfortunately for us this time. Ooh. Conservatory. I've not gotten to draft this yet. Adjust the rarity of floor plans in your house. Yes, please. There's also a dig pile in this room. This is another rook room. Drafting locations. West wing only. Oh, this is important. West wing only can draft the garage, the west wing hall, and her ladyship's chamber from south-facing doors. Oh! That's why it's when I got the dark room here and then drafted to the south that I got her ladyship's chamber. Interesting. That said, the fact that I've now solved the chess puzzle outside and I've already got the Mantle of the Night active, I don't have to immediately do that again. East wing only has the East wing hall and the master bedroom. Cool. Other special cases, conservatory is only ever draftable in a corner. Is that where I am? That is indeed. And bookshop is only ever draftable from the library. Cool. Speaking of library and books, anything hiding in this bookcase? Not so far as I can see. Upright double base in the corner. Okay. Yeah, it looks like this is more of a functional room than a puzzle room. Floor plan conservation. In the conservatory, you'll be able to permanently adjust the rarity and rates that determine how often certain floor plans are drawn. Today, you may adjust the rarities of the above floor plans. Billiard room, locksmith, and drawing room. I've got to say, late game? Presuming we are late game now, by the way. But I'm saying I find much easier to either buy... Whoa, hang on. Something knocked the sound a little bit there. 1 second. There we are. I find it much easier to bypass gems entirely as a cost, or to generate money in order to get gems. Money doesn't give us gems a lot of the time, but I have a lot of different ways of gaining gems. I don't have a lot of different ways of gaining keys. So I feel like locksmith, I need to be a little more common. It's currently unusual. Oh, I could even make it commonplace. Let's make it standard. I don't want it to be unusual or rare. Standard seems just about fine for me. Oh, I can adjust the rarities of each of them. Billiard room being commonplace. I do like that. Nothing to change about that. Drawing room being commonplace. Also completely fine. Grand. It seems like ideally you want to see red ones here so you can draft them all to be rare. That said, there is, strategy in using red items with red items and stuff of that ilk, so maybe we shouldn't have done that. Oh, before I left that conference room, by the way, I should have drafted upwards. Oops, oops, oops. Patio. Spread gems into each green room. I'm going to intentionally choose one of the other options. The gems in each green room would just put 2 gems into the conference room. Not especially useful for us. And spare bedroom's a very easy draft here. Do I head up from here? Yeah. Ooh, security. Very easy. I do want some additional gems, so maybe I'm now keen to go back in the other direction towards the den. Oh, literally nothing in this room. All right. Chapel. When you go into the chapel, you lose 1 gold, and it leads us back to the foundation. That's great. I don't think I have to go into there just yet. Passageway. Useful, but I don't actually need that here. I could just draft Darkroom. You cannot see the floor plans whilst drafting in this room, but I'm going to be drafting from the other sides anyway, to start with. Yeah. And now I have 3 gems that could be picked up in the funeral parlor. So I'll head back in the other direction. Well, actually, hang on. I will do my tiny little cheese here. Make the security system low until I find a keycard. Or the breakers. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, all of these were going to terminate. Commissary, items of sale, obviously I would love that, but I don't have the opportunity to take that. Yeah, sure, bedroom. I get 2 steps for entering. Nothing really doing in the room, but that's fine. Takes us through to where I want to be for an additional gem now. All right. Hallway does give us the ability to lead all the way out to the eastern wing, which I really do want to do. Commissary, unfortunately, would block it off. Yeah, kitchen or hallway is a much better draft here. I'm going to take the hallway. Ooh, commissary. Now in a really good position, giving us the ability to lead back down into the corner. As well as to buy a... Ooh, magnifying glass? What do I need to magnify right now? I need to magnify the safe in the drafting room. Sledgehammer, sleeping mask, and running shoes. I'm going to take the sleeping mask and running shoes. Literally just to preserve steps. Sleep mask, 5 additional steps every time you enter a bedroom for the first time. Ooh, locksmith down here as well. Guess bedroom's not bad. It's a lot of steps here, but locksmith would just give me this little area where I can come back to do all of my money management. Oh, right. Never mind. I don't even have the gems for it. I need more gems. Oh, navigational compass. Very useful. You also get 15 steps for having come in here. Interesting. So now I need a way to generate money. That's my next biggest draw. Storeroom that terminates our progress on this side. Kitchen doesn't. Alright. I'm gonna go back to the funeral parlor and get my gems now. Wow. I wanted to hold on to it until I had the opportunity to generate more red rooms, but 3 is enough. 3 is fair. The box next to this box contains gems. Both boxes next to this box contain gems. False. A box next to this box is true. False. Which means this has to be true. Which means this one contains the gems. Alright, I'll head through the corridor, I think. Definitely don't want to terminate with the hallway closet here. Drawing room leaves us a couple of open directions. And we can redraw while we're drawing in that room, which is going to be particularly useful. Sure. Let's check our available options. Ooh, breaker box. But billiards room does give us a new adjacency, as well as some items, likely keys, sometimes even the key card. I think it's got to be billiard room. I'll take that, and then I'm going to head the other direction first. Pop this open with a key. Courtyard seems ideal. Single gem gives us 2 back, as well as possibly a big item like a shovel, maybe? Let's go through the billiard room first. Cursory inspection doesn't show any additional items in this room. Fine, I'll just solve the puzzle then. 11 is 11. 8 and 7 is 15. Minus... What? 8 and 7 is 15. Minus 10 is 5 times 4 is 20. Right, gotcha. 17 minus 15 is 2. Times 20 is 40. Divided by 10 is 4. 20 times 2 is 40. Divided by... Oh, boy. Divided by 5 times 4 times 2 is 40 is 1. Keycard! Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to go back to security and set up everything the opposite way. That keycard effectively gave me not exactly the same power that I would have gotten from a... Oh, I should drop this to the north first. Oh, my rail room package has been delivered. Yes, please. I already have a sleep mask, so it can't give me a sleep mask. This is a terminating part, so I don't want to come back this way. Handcrafted ivory die, a silver key, and 2 keys. Honestly, huge. Silver key opens a door with many rooms, 2 ivory die, as well as 2 keys. The resource that I was most primarily missing at that time. Alrighty. Now, I could head back up and through the courtyard, but realistically, I want there to be as many security locked doors as possible when I do that. So I'm going to head back the other direction. I'm going to go into security, and then I'm also going to go back up through both of the chapel and the foundation. We even got to collect 10 additional steps from the 2 bedrooms we stepped through for the second time. And only security... Key... Well, hang on. Whoa, there's 2 gems, 3 coins. Oh, right. I expect the 2 gems to be in the courtyard that we've not gone into yet. Perhaps there will also be 3 coins on the ground there, or maybe I've just missed 3 coins. Security level is high. Everything is locked. That's fine. I do have to go through the chapel. Ooh, there's the 3 coins. Found them. So it is the other 2 gems just in the other side. West Wing Hall opens in a bunch of directions for us, including top. Yeah, I'll take that. It's just a nice connective room. I feel compelled to go over to the foundation first, but I also am not going to do anything with the foundation at the moment. So, why would I do that? Come on, security doors, please. Hallway closet, +1 extra item if drafted adjoined to a hallway. I do like additional items, and I do feel like I'm a little item light this run. Oh, a sledgehammer. Okay. Could have gotten one of those in the store. That's okay. Got another ivory die as well as a lucky rabbit's foot. Greater chance of finding items. Nook, storeroom, and pantry. Well, I definitely can't conclude on this side, so it's got to be nook or pantry here. Nook for an additional key, pantry for additional money. My additional money largely translates into what? Items that I already have. Like, the only item that I can purchase that I don't otherwise already have access to is the magnifying glass. I suppose it'll be nook then. Without much commitment to the idea. Door's locked. So currently I only have 1 exit out of the dark room, 1 exit out of the courtyard, 1 exit out of the nook to the north. I'll pop open a key here. Armory, hello. That's the first time I've seen you. Unfortunately, you are drafting for me right now a dead end. And not only are you drafting for me a dead end, you are drafting me a dead end that leads out to the front and left. Weapons and armor for sale, though. I'm deeply intrigued, but I'm going to have to take the library because it leads out in the direction that I actually want. I also do want to go to the library for a bunch of good reasons, including the book that I got in there, which I'd love to read. This book was graciously gifted by Simon P. Jones. Oh, right. Got it. That's because I bought it in the bookshop. The History of Orindia. Ajara to Iraja. So this is the unredacted History of Orindia, which we previously saw a redacted version of. Forward. Orindia was once the realm used to designate the realms of the Eastern Water. The name that was used to designate the realms of the Eastern Waters. Though the term is no longer employed in the hall of politics, nor commonly known to the average citizen, its memory flickers in the hearts of those who hail from the lands that it once encompassed, and many to the elder generation, in hushed circles, still refer to themselves as Orindians. Yet we must not let the flame of history dwindle into the obscurity of whispered conversations, nor permit our leaders to enjoin us in abandoning the name of our land. Written by Caleb Manning, Ruffington Red Publishing. Got it. We must keep alive the embers of our past and preserve them for generations to come. Number 1. Ajara. Most historians mark the beginning of the first era, often denoted as Ajara, by the ascension of the first king of Orindia, whose name, Horus, would later grace the burgeoning township in which he was crowned. Horus was known, before his coronation, as a prominent merchant lord of considerable means and affluence, whose sway in the region made him an ideal candidate for the unification of surrounding provinces. Regrettably, history is not always forthcoming, and the surviving records of those bygone days are mostly limited to trade agreements and sale receipts. Nevertheless, we can deduce from these ledgers that Aurus had but one aim: expansion. The territory spread forth from the heart of Aurus, and by the end of the 1st century, the black banners of Orindia could be seen fluttering in every hamlet and hostelry, along every thoroughfare from Aurus all the way to the western banks. A new kingdom was born. Chapter 2. The Second Era. It was the 4th king of Orindia who split his vast domain into 3 equal shares, 3 realms for his 3 children. To the eldest, he granted the fields and mountains of the great-grandfather, the middle province and the heartspring of the kingdom. The eldest accepted the gift and called his realm Orinda Ares, after the angelic paragon of a royalty, Orinda. To the youngest, he bestowed upon him the realm of Arc-Ares, a land of the northern storms, a wild and untamed expanse which at the time was not as developed, but a good deal more vast than the elder brother's lot. And to his middle child, his only daughter, he gifted her the southern land of Araja, the mystical realm of ancestors, a land steeped in tradition, magic, and poetry of the old tongue. Okay, so now that I know that I'm going to need to generate a sigil based on each of those lands, I know additional information that's relevant to this. For instance, Arc-Ares of the Northern Storms. One imagine that means that Arc-Ares has stormy weather. Since my man and I ain't together, it's raining all the time. So stormy weather tells us about the rays that are going to be radiating from the center and the way in which they'll be designed. We also have Orinda Ares, the middle, the heartspring of the kingdom. That doesn't give us additional information, I don't think. Araja, however, steeped in tradition, magic, and the poetry of the old tongue. One imagines that means that it might have the poetic sigil. Very quickly checking my foreman's notes. Yeah, the sigils that we have are spiritual, poetic, and tribal. Spiritual for maybe steeped in tradition and magic, but there's also poetry of the old tongue, so I imagine it might be poetic. I'm just going to write poetic question mark. Number 3. The Third Era. As the Second Era drew to a close, the 3 sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress and prosperity. Each of these distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed, cultivating the bountiful resources of their lands, and developing a unique character and culture that set them apart from one another. Despite those differences, the sibling monarchs managed to maintain friendly relations throughout their lives, and were known for their cooperation in matters of trade and transportation. The succeeding generations of their heirs continued that tradition, and the Third Era was defined by the construction of a vast network of railways that spanned the length and breadth of the land, linking the most northern mountains of Arc-Ares to the southern shores of Araja. This development facilitated travel and commerce between the 3 realms, further strengthening their bond and laying the foundation for the promise of a prosperous and bright future, a promise that would, unfortunately, as my readers will soon find, not be kept. Fourth Era. As the kingdom of Orinda Ares entered the Fourth Era, a different kind of ruler took the reins of power. King Desolate III was a king who listened to the voices of all of his subjects, from the most influential advisors to the humblest of citizens. He was a king often seen among the people, eating, drinking, and conversing, a sight that shocked not only the gentry in the court, but the masses as well, who could scarce believe that they, as peasantry, would ever sup with the crown. King Desolate was renowned as the king of the people, and it was therefore a surprise to no one when he made the decision to move the capital from the secluded mountains of Reddington to the public stage of Aurus, leaving castle and court behind. The people were overjoyed with this choice, and the city welcomed their king with open arms and great fanfare. Yet not all was swayed so easily. There were those that viewed the king's conduct to be unbecoming of his station, and were wary of how readily he could be persuaded by the tears and tales of the common folk. These dissenting voices planted the seeds of discontent, which took root in the lawns and gardens of the nobles of Fen, or as I have been instructed to say, the grand city of Fen. Chapter 5. The Era of Ruin. After the passing of King Desilets III, the Fourth Era came to an abrupt end. Thankfully, the king died naturally in his old age, surrounded by his people in Orus, far away from the growing unrest among the western city of Fen. On the very next day, the 6th of October, the self-proclaimed Prince Leosin of Fen declared himself the true monarch. This declaration was bolstered by a surprising number of supporters, due to the fact that that Desilets IV, shared his father's good name, but little of his virtues. As the prospect of civil war seemed inevitable, the realm's regiments were hastily recalled from the frontiers to stamp out and put an end to the Fensurrection. However, instead of restoring order, what ensued was a savage and merciless campaign against their own people. The gardens of Fen, once a center of splendor, were transformed into a battlefield as cries of the innocent echoed through the city streets, stained in red. The brutality of the pacification of Fen did not go unnoticed by neighbors. As support for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. Among them was the general of the Northern Regiment, who, sickened by the barbaric actions of the other battalions, joined forces with Prince Leosin to form a formidable army. Together, they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Ark-Ares and Nuance to join the cause. However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 long years and saw buried 1 in every 3 men. Prince Leosin himself added another number to the casualties. However, even in death, he had won. Orus had fallen, and with it the realm. The black flags were flown for 5 eras, and the black flags that had flown, for 5 eras were burned, and in their place, red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fen. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear for their lives to the south, forever exiled. We'll also note here that I do believe we now know that general to be General Teskin, courtesy of a future Reddington Herald article. General Teskin of the Northern Regiment, so that's me tying those clues together, led victory for Fen on December the 9th of on March the 10th of 1886, That is also the date that the Reddington Herald retract their support for House Desilets. The brutality... we read that one. Hang on. Chapter 6. The Current Era. Today, the realms inherited by the 3, Fen-Ares, Ark-Ares, and Araja, once again stand united as allies. Though the distance between our people has grown, our connection to this land remains as strong as ever. The spruce and birch that span our realms serve as a constant reminder that we all share a common past. As those trees continue to grow, so do our hopes of a common future. A future where we are not defined by the colors of the banners we raise, but by that which connects us. A land that we each call home. For this, despite everything else, a land rich in history, a land of myth and wonder, a land that sprung forth from the greatest empire the world has ever seen, a land of our fathers, our mothers, and of our children. This land is, after all that has happened, still Orindia. And that was censored in the original version of this book. So we are seeing censorship by Fen-Ares of Orindian sympathies. Makes sense to me. We've got some good information coded in here. I'd love to order another book, but unfortunately that doesn't come in until the next time that we draft the library. So we're a couple of runs away from being able to draft all of the rooms I'm interested in. All right. Ooh, bookshop for sale. This can only ever be drafted adjacent to the library. There's exactly 1 book left in there that I want to see. Weight room will take half of our steps, but also, I believe the weight room courtesy of the emails that we read between one of the, not groundskeepers, but one of the house workers, house servants, can't remember their role, and Mrs. Anne Babbage, as he was saying that there is a lever in this room that used to be used, but is no longer used ever since Herbert no longer uses the weight room, and that perhaps they should conceal it. So I am eager to go into the weight room to try and find that at some point. I don't know if I want to do it right now? Question mark? If I had to guess, I would say there's some way to get into one of these. One of the two sides of the building. Rotunda, can't draft that. Bookshop, I could take that, but I don't have money. I'm gonna reroll. Boiler room, power source. Also, Chamber of Mirrors, you can now draft second copies of rooms you already have in your house. Yeah, give me a boiler room. Why not? Sadly, the... it's high security and I have a key card. Please give me some security locked key card doors, please. Please, please, I dare, I beg. Instead, all of them are just traditionally locked. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna use my special silver key here to aim to the north. I'm looking for a room with a bunch of adjacencies. We have security, we have boiler, we have mechanarium. Those are all of our rooms with that sigil. I think I should take it. And I should also draft the other exit while I'm here. Walk-in closet, but it terminates our footsteps. Conservatory, but I can't draft it. And weight room. Weight room does lead back in the direction I want. I'm gonna lose 30 steps to get this weight room, really? Yep. Oh. 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 That's a breakable wall if I've ever seen one. Also, by the way, thankfully, this weight room has two adjacencies that are both key cards. Love to see it. Before I open those, I'm going to quickly go get these gems. Make sure there's nothing else I could have picked up in this room. Handy dandy. Aquarium is the color of every room, and it'll lead to the south. Very useful for us. Gives us 5 additional steps for walking into this room in the first place, too. Ooh. Armory. Weapons and armor for sale. It terminates the path going downwards, but, like, most things will, and I need to see what the armory is. A self-igniting torch. Can light candles and ignite fuses. Morning Star can knock locks off of chests and trunks. Tomorrow morning, gain another star. The Knight's Shield. Once per day, when drafting, you can equip Knight's Shield to ignore the effect of any one red room. Each of these cost 8, which is exactly one more than I currently have. Well, this is the most compelling. Can light candles and ignite fuses. I did not know that that was a thing we could do. Can knock the locks off of chests and trunks. Well, if I get the money, I know where I'm doing it. Unfortunately, we are locked out that direction. Oh boy. I've got too many bunk rooms to make that one work. Archives or Great Hall? Great Hall has a bunch of locked doors, is the only problem with that. I don't have a bunch of keys for those locked doors. I got a sledgehammer. I almost feel like I should take Archives. I'm going to, in fact. Oh. No additional items, unfortunately. Dang. So this is out one direction in the mechanarium. Yeah, these are all going to be locked, unfortunately. Oh, this one wasn't. Green rooms do not cost gems to draft. That's super useful for us. Yeah, give me the terrace. Why not? Green rooms don't cost gems to draft. 2 additional coins. Thank you kindly. I know exactly what we're doing with those. It can light candles and fuses. Where have I seen candles and fuses? There's the candle, So can't go out the other direction sometimes. 1, 2, okay. Yep, 3 exits, including the one that came in. Yep, that one's locked. Okay, so we are now locked in progress behind keys. I do have this dark room which I can still go through. This thing. I imagine there's got to be torches in the chapel that we can light. Candles in the chapel we can light, rather. Maybe we can even light things in the dark room and draft appropriately in there? Maybe one of the hallways? Maybe the funeral parlor, even? There's the candle chamber in the basement as well. Candles up there. I would like to do one thing with this before I have to put it down. Oh. Okay, I can't light those candles. Out of respect for Lady Clara, of course. Can light special candles. I suppose none of these can... Oh! Thank you. The Keeper of the Tithes. The chapel's resident guardian tasked with the sacred duty of keeping the money accumulated from chapel offerings. So I could break the Keeper, taking out all of the money that it has, or I could not. I can't really do too much with that money today. Like, I could head back to the Armory and then buy a star for tomorrow, but that's like almost useless. What, you won't just let me turn the light back on? With the torch? Eh? Eh? Cowards? Alright, I'm just draw blindly. Give me the one that costs a gem. Oh! Walk-in closet with a bunch of items. Do you like that? 2 gems. Is that it? Oh! No, right, that's a salt shaker. I just didn't think it looked like one there. Salt shaker, 4 coins? Does 4 coins count as an item? Sorry, 3 coins. Even less. Does that count as an item? I think it does. I've walked into closets and gotten 2 coins and an ivory die before. Nothing to light up in here. The den might have something to light. I'm trying to think of the rooms that are cozy and lit by candlelight. 1, 2, 3. Then I can go outside. Okay, I think I have enough room. I think I have enough space to do this. Ooh, can't light that. Okay, these candles are just jokes, I guess, then. Oh, it can ignite candles and fuses. I can blow up the thing outside? Because there's the... It says, can it light? Yep. Can light special candles, ignite fuses. In the outer room, I could spawn a shop. I kind of want to check the funeral parlor on my way out. I'm not seeing any candles in there. But if I drafted the trading post outside, there is a dynamite in that. Can I light the fuse on that and just blow up the trading post for no good reason whatsoever? Thankfully, I have the running shoes, so I can run outside without losing footsteps. Trying for a little bit of money to offer. I've never gotten to offer any money, so... Oh, you know what? You know where there might be a candle we can light? Maybe in a shrine. It looks like someone already got to all of these candles. Damn. Alright. You may have 3 coins. You've received the blessing of the High Roller. Each time you draft a shop room, gain a die. Gain 5 extra coins each time you roll a die. That's a very good blessing. Can I take my money back now? Better not. Okay, got it. Yeah, that seems really useful. Obviously not especially useful for our perma progression here. Oh, that's fine. I got a little bit more I want to do. Oh! Oh, there's torches down here. There's torches on the walls. Can I light it with this torch? Please. 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 Yes! Knew it. Tunnel! You found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add tunnel to your drafting pool? Yes. Always draw tunnel when drafting in this room. So it just goes up forever. Oh, this is the last manifold, last performance log I think we've seen.
The complete manifest for all of the excavation equipment that's been rigorously checked and delivered to the upper branch. After tomorrow, the site will be sealed and all remaining hardware will be packed up and transported to the original access tunnel for long-term storage. It's unclear if they'll seal the tunnel after our crew has left, but I suspect they may want to keep ready access to the gear, especially now that they've begun operations in the East Mine. A month ago, I believe that the discovery of gemstones in that cabin was directly linked to the closure on this site, but now, I'm not so sure. The Baron doesn't seem the type to value shiny baubles over history.
Complete manifest for all of the excavation equipment has been rigorously checked and delivered to the upper branch. Tomorrow, the site will be sealed and all remaining hardware will be packed up and transported to the original access tunnel for long-term storage. The excavation equipment has been packed up in the original access tunnel for long-term storage. It's unclear if they'll seal that tunnel as well. But they may want to keep ready access to the gear, especially now that they've begun operations in the East Mine. In the East Mine. I wonder if they're referring to the gemstone cavern up there, because follows up with a month ago, I believe gemstones in that cavern was directly linked to the closure of this site, but I'm not sure. Maybe there's more to be discovered in the other one. Curious. Very, very curious. I don't think there's anything down here that I could light up with the flame, but in here. Oh, in here I do think so. Oh no. Oh no. I did it. It's the side that I can't access. No. I need to be over there, which means I need to go. I need to go down from the entrance to get there? I need to either go down from the tombs or down from the what do they call it? The fountain, I think, leads over to that side. I think it's the tombs and the fountain that both lead there. In fact, I actually have a map that would confirm that for us. Let me have a quick look at that bad boy. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately. The minecart is the thing that's currently blocking us off from that. So I would have to come down from the other side and then push the minecart forward maybe halfway in order to be able to access it from both sides. Damn. Oh, I was really hoping I was going to be able to do that this run. That's okay. We're out of keys. Out of adjacent rooms. I think we got to call that a run right there. Managed to find managed to pick up a blessing for ourselves. Managed to find a new floor plan as well. A little bit of additional information about the history of Orindia, uncensored this time. And a little bit more information as well from that same book on the sigils that we are going to have to work with at the very end of this game. For the moment, though, I think it's time to call it a day. Also going to tell you that my name's been Rhapsody, and the name of the game has been Blueprints. This is the Mount Holly Garden Manor 4 green rooms in it. I really, really need more keys. More keys and more gems. Granted, I wouldn't have even really been able to afford the keys that I wanted. If I got the keys, I wouldn't have been able to use the armory in order to get the thing. 3 knee rooms seen. Got to adjust the rarity of some rooms as well. Or at least 1 room to make it slightly more common. I'll hit and save and continue. I'll tell you that my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Blueprints. Top left has been the series playlist. Normally content of the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past are the names of the people who are generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thank you, and a special thanks this episode to Disney Mia. Hopefully you'll be enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.